Hello, hello, hello. We're at it again, I believe. Are we at it again? I don't know. Feels like we're at it again. Well, here we are. Here we are. What should we talk about? I don't know, because I'm on my own. There's nobody here except me. I'm the only person here. Oh, what to do. Oh, what to do. I suppose I've got to fill time. I don't know what should we talk about? I don't know. It's difficult when you're on your own, isn't it? Oh, I have to stretch it out. Stretch my back. There we go. Oh dear. Oh, I feel tired. No energy. Again. Oh, there's 5 people in. I wonder if anyone will chat. I doubt it. They just come to watch me babble and burble on the interwebs. Any more for any more? Or should we make it a quick one? I could do, couldn't we? Should we do coffee time now? Should I do the news now? Oh, I see on I'm a Celebrity, Boy George got kicked out. That was sad. I like Boy George. You're watching I'm a Celebrity? No. Watching the football? No. Good. So yeah, I'll just burble here on my own for a bit, in the hope that someone might pass by. Though I noticed earlier that the coffee time live stream never went live on the subs page, so I'd be surprised if anybody. Let me just check if anyone's getting this. Oh no, people are getting this. That's good. That's good. I'm glad this one's going out live. But I know the coffee time one completely did not arrive. Nope, still not there. I wonder where it is. Where is it? Nobody knows. It's gone missing. It's gone AWOL. We'll never know. Maybe it'll turn up at midnight. Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes when you do a live stream, it gets shunted 2 hours later when it's processed, which is great, but it kind of loses some of the liveness and spontaneity of the stream. So you didn't get a notification, says Jason. Well, again, this is it. I think YouTube's misbehaving a bit. Again, I only did make the live stream, this live stream. I'll talk about the coffee time one at lunchtime. I might have to start recording them and not do them live and upload them, because if they're not getting pushed to your notifications, then you know I'm having a hard enough time as it is without YouTube conspiring against me. But we know what YouTube can do. We saw what it did to my son's YouTube channel. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, should we look at my son's YouTube channel and his stats? Shall we do that? Oh no, it's gone. Oh, that's weird. Something's not right. YouTube seems to have disappeared. That was weird. Again, I think YouTube's about to keel over. Alex has found me. Hooray! But yeah, I've got a feeling YouTube's misbehaving a bit. But like I said, we all know what they can do to your stats. You know what they can do, and again, I like to show this. This is what YouTube did to my son's channel. There you go. Do you see? He was building up a nice head of steam, and then it was a Friday, and then blammo, they turned off. They basically shadow banned his channel, and that's what they can do. That's what they do to you on here, and that we reckon is because he makes Sonic the Hedgehog videos. When he used to, he doesn't make them anymore because he can't be bothered. And I think that's what they do. They try and get you to. So I better not make any Sonic the Hedgehog videos. Thankfully, he's not too bothered by it because he's kind of given up on that. He'd rather play the games now rather than make videos about them. So I'm pretty pleased with that. G-Man's in, Rene's in, Fasano's in. He said, good evening, fashionably late. Well, I was a bit early, I think. Simon's in. He says, hope all is well. Nah, it's not well. It's not well at all, I'm afraid. So if I zip off, it's because, again, again, part of me thinks, do I talk about it or don't I talk about it? Because people, lunatics, don't like me talking about my personal life and what goes on. So, I try and keep that out of the frame, as it were, because, you know what it's like when you've got a stalker. Does anyone know what it's like? Oh, well, I'll tell you what it's like. No, I won't. I'm surprised they're not here tonight. Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here harassing me? Oh, did they get bored? Did they kick me out of their mind? I've been living there rent-free all this time. Oh, dear. But, yeah, I mean, Bill says, hey, Dan, any luck with stopping the troll? I don't, Paul. You tell me. Because you're not real, are you? So boring. Come on, Paul. You can do better than that. Paul. Good go, though. I like it. Shall I just block you now? Yeah, let's just hide him now. Bye, Paul. Oh, cheers. Oh, look, there's another one. This Thomas King. He's not real either. Look, we can just block him. It's a wonderful world, isn't it? Let's just block them all. Oh, they're not real. None of them are real. It's just so boringly obvious. Oh dear. No, none of them are real. None of them are real. They're all fake, all of them. All fakey fakes. But no, they're probably not actually. They're probably not. I don't want to talk about that. Again, if those of you who don't know, I have a dying dog on my hands, unfortunately. Anna was taken ill Friday. Just stopped eating, stopped drinking, and we took her to the vet on Monday, and they've got some tablets, but she's become so weak. Well, just in the last 24 hours, and my nerves are a little bit shredded by it, because that was a big sneeze, wasn't it? So yeah, things aren't going well, because it looks like I might have another deceased pet. We're supposed to be, the vet said it could be her teeth, because her teeth are very bad, but they did confirm to us that there's no way she's a 7-year-old dog. They think she's a lot older, which we have always suspected. In Battersea, when they sold it to us, or gave us to, well, they didn't give us to us, we actually exchanged money for the dog, so I guess we bought the dog, but they frame it in such a way. It's funny, because Battersea still technically have ownership of the dog. They can come and take the dog away from me any time if they feel that I'm not doing a good job. That's the contract you sign. Did you know that, when you get a dog from Battersea? I wish they'd bloody come and get her now so they could pay for the treatment. But yeah, so the vet kind of thinks, well, it might be the teeth, because her teeth are in a terrible condition, always have been. But I'm thinking it's more than that now. I'm basically feeding her with a syringe tonight. It's been a real decline, real sudden. Yeah, she's been slowing down. We all slow down, but it's it's a real sudden thing, So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to go to the vet again tomorrow. Again, we've got this surgery booked next Wednesday, but I don't know if she's going to be even fit enough to survive it, And it's going to be a big thing. They're going to be taking all her teeth out by the sound of it. And of course, I said to the vet, oh, well, we're fully insured. And she said, it's probably unlikely that your insurance is going to cover this because it's teeth. And it's like, what's the point of having insurance? I might as well put my money in a fucking sock under the bed. My experience with insurers is not a good one. So, I don't know. I thought I'd come on here to get away from it, but that didn't happen. Don't worry, Simon, you asked. So, you asked, I replied. Jason says, Roger Waters has been sending one of his old guitars around the world for people to sign. Peter Gabriel and Nina have signed it. So some woman jailed in Turkey. Well, that's great, isn't it? Do you think it'll work? Do you think sending a guitar around the world will do that, rather than actually, I don't know, going to Turkey themselves and banging on the doors of the prison? I mean, it's a gesture, I suppose, but it's a bit weak, isn't it? It's not actually doing stuff. It's not actually doing anything, because we wouldn't want Roger to quit his life of luxury and rock stardom. Again, I wouldn't mind it if he actually went to embassies and banged on tables and things. And it's, I don't know, I get a bit tired of these rock stars. They're rock stars, that's it. They do not change the world. They never did. Look at Bob Geldof. Look what he tried with Africa. Did it change anything? No. Because politics gets involved, and politics is corrupt. That's all you need to know, right? So when musicians are doing, they should be better off building hospitals themselves, on building schools and doing things like that, and actually benefiting their communities, rather than sending guitars around the fucking world. Oh well. I know what I'd do if I was a multi-millionaire, and I'd be building schools and hospitals. But that's just me. G-Man says, sorry about Anna. Yeah, it's just one of those things, and it's just because it's happened so quickly. With Alex, it happened over a long period of time. His illness, and he was a fighter. She's just kind of given up on me. The light has literally gone out. So, don't ever love anything. Zeb says, lost my cat the night after our National Day this year. He became 19 though, and was more like a loyal dog than a cat in mind and spirit. Well, 19's pretty good, isn't it, for a cat? I mean, what a great age. What a great cat. What cat dog. You'll always remember him. This is it. He's, again, even though he was little, his shadow will cast a long, long shadow over you, like Alex did to us, and Meg did previously, and Cappy, my mum's dog, And I guess when it's Anna's time, I'm hoping that we can, maybe the drugs will work tomorrow and she'll feel better. She wants to eat. She goes to a food bowl, but she just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm syringing porridge into the dog's mouth now. I was doing it with a spoon the other day, and then she kind of gave up on that. So I quickly ordered some syringes, but I need some bigger ones, because trying to get porridge through a syringe is a challenge. The things I've done in my life. You've never believed what I've done to keep dogs going, what I do with Alex and what I'm doing with this one. You wouldn't believe it. But it's what you do, Like I say, never fall in love with anything, because it hurts. Doesn't it just? Where are we? Costello says, this week it's the 25th anniversary of Open Your Eyes, apparently. I forgot, did you like the album or not? No, it was very, I mean, no, I didn't like it. It was one of those things. It happened at a time when there wasn't a lot of action out there. When was it? Was it 94? Was it? Am I remembering that right? That seems like it was later, because Union was 91. But I remember getting it. I remember getting it when it came out and listening to it. But again, it was all right. But it's not an album I necessarily. Yeah, again, the Yes West stuff is not something I feel that I need to go and listen to. So, Oh, you're talking about Open Your Eyes. No, I hate that one. So I was thinking of something else. My mind's not on it. No, I hate Open Your Eyes. I did a video on it. Zeb says, yeah, Open Your Eyes is weak, but Heaven and Earth is weaker. Well, again, Open Your Eyes doesn't really even feel like a Yes album, does it? It feels like a project featuring Yes members. I mean, the songs are okay, but I wouldn't say it's particularly Yes-ish. Is that right? John says, good luck with the surgery. I'll pray if you think it'll help. Well, that's next Wednesday, not tomorrow. It's Wednesday week. I don't even know if she's going to make it, to be honest. She's so weak. I could barely walk around the block tonight. I mean, not the block, the building block, which is a very short walk. She was exhausted, and her demeanour has diminished a great deal in, well, 24 hours. When we weighed her in the vets, she'd lost 3 or 4 kilos since we last went to the vets, which again we hadn't noticed because she's a fluffy kind of dog. You know, it's not. Not like you can feel her ribs. I mean, she was a bit heavy before. They actually said she was overweight before, so now she's actually probably more of a breed weight. You know, but she's a very fussy eater, and she's always been like that. And she'll have one day on and one day off of eating. You know, and sometimes she'll just go off her food, and it can be and she's always been like that. And so we thought, oh, she's just off her food again. And then, you know, she just stopped eating and it just carried on over the weekend. You know, and you just go, oh, okay, this is different. And no matter how much encouragement, you know, and all different delicious things I've brought to her, things that, you know, treats, are not going in. And now the water, she's having trouble with the water as well. It's like, oh, God. And they can only survive so long before all the organs shut down. Again, I've seen this with Alex, and I'm worried that she's just going to have a massive seizure or something. You know, I don't like this bit. I don't like it at all, you know. Where are we? Convinced said, oops. Convinced said, I had a friend who lost a dog recently. He was inconsolable for a good month. Devastated him. You never get over it. A month? I'm still not over Alex. I'm still not over Meg. Meg was... That was 1991 when she went. My God. Grief is a scar that never fades, you know. Grief is a love that never dies. That's a lyric to a song I wrote, you know. So... Fasana says insurance companies are evil. They're worse than that. John says The Quest has a couple of good songs, but I deducted points because it isn't the 20-minute epic title track. Well, also they didn't write it, did they? We all know what happened there. Convinced says Eric Clapton sued a foreign woman for selling eBay. Yeah, that's an old story, isn't it? It's because it was a bootleg, wasn't it? She sold a bootleg CD. She didn't realise it was a bootleg CD, and he gets a bit litigious about that. Again, I think it's a bit late in the game for that, you know. But that's his prerogative. It makes him look stupid. Zeb says, bought my last copy of Prog magazine. Not worth €15 for one new Bantam interview and a Genesis Gabriel 82 story. Well, again, magazines. I stopped buying magazines in the turn of the millennium when all the reviews started being like 4 or 5 stars. You know? And they kept running Van Morrison profiles. It kept Van Morrison. It's like, well, I don't want to keep reading about Van Morrison. So I'm out. I'm done. And do you really care what the artists say? They're idiots. They're all idiots. Ren asks, have I listened to the latest Devin Townsend? Nah. I like the guy. I like his enthusiasm for guitars and equipment, but he's not my kind of music person. Troublemaker says, Darren, it's me, your troll. I'm sorry for your dog's health. No punchline. I hope everything works out. I'm going now. Yeah, sure you are. Look, if you were sorry, you wouldn't keep defaming me, would you, and writing lies about me, you know? Because I got kids and they see this stuff, you know. Just don't do it. I don't mind you taking the mickey out of me. You can do that. Do the funny stuff, but don't defame me. Don't write untruths about the disabled. I've not said any of this stuff, or make me out to be a racist, you know. But that's what you want. All you want to do is upset me and defame me, you know. It doesn't bother me, but there are other people out there that it does bother. Okay, and like I say, take the mickey out of me. That's fine. Go ahead, knock yourself out. But don't use my name to do it. Don't pretend it's an official channel, because that's impersonation and that's a breach of the YouTube terms of service. Be clever about it. But you can't be. You know, this is the thing. I wouldn't mind if you were clever, but all you do is do lies over and over and over again. And you do it to make it look like it's me, to make it look like it's my channel. You steal my name, you steal my image, you steal my content. You know? And you can't do anything original because you don't have an original idea in your head. You know? And I've done nothing to you. I've done nothing. I'm just here doing this, having a bit of fun with people, and for whatever reason, I'm your target. Carry on. As long as you're not bothering other people who can't handle it, you know? But I will do what I need to do, because you keep lying about me and posting lies about me and defaming me. It's against the law to do that. It's not satire, it's not parody, it's not comedy, or whatever you think it is. It's defamation, you know. True things. Do true things, you know. That's what you do. That's comedy. But you don't understand because you're not all there. You know, so fuck you and fuck your fake concern. Goodbye. John says, oh, he's talking about this CD of, I guess you're talking about The Quest. Convincing Hex and John are having a little conversation. Can I put porridge in a syringe? Yes and no. It all depends on the size of the syringe. And I bought the slightly smaller ones. I need the 60mm syringes. And I had to make it really milky. But I got some of it. I got. It was a bit, you know, got some of it through. But I do need to get some of the bigger syringes. But it worked. I've got hands like Arnold Schwarzenegger now. But it did work. But you know, I don't know. I don't know for what I'm doing. This is the thing. I don't know what I'm doing. You know. I was thinking of talk actually. Zeb says convinced. Oh, he's talking about convincing Hex again. I'll just sit back and let them have a conversation. Someone says sorry about the dog. Yeah, I mean it's just the quickness of it. It's the suddenness. You know, we knew she was slowing down, but then we thought she was old, and then all of a sudden it's all kind of, you know, collapsed in. It's all kind of happened really fast. Again with Alex, he had more comebacks than Tom Jones. He'd often, you know, get a bit ill, not eat, and then come back again. You know, with a little bit of rest and recuperation, he came back. But this one, she doesn't seem to want to eat or want to drink. You know, she has moments. Whereas Alex was always like, "Give me another bit of ham. You know, feed me, Dad." You know. So, but this one's a bit harder. She's stubborn, and getting her to take tablets is just. Oh, she's the toughest dog I've ever known for that. But then, you know, I think she's very much a street dog, who we just happen to take into our homes. She's been a strange one, you know. She's an odd one. She's not like any dog I've ever owned. You know, she's very standoffish, very reserved, you know, stays in her bed, you know, doesn't relax, you know. Well, she relaxes, to relax, but she doesn't like kind of demand your attention like a regular dog does. Like a dog will come up to you and nuzzle you for a fuss, or, you know, yeah. She likes a cheese biscuit if we're having a cheese biscuit. But no dog can resist a cheese biscuit. But it's just sad. It's just sad. It makes me sad, you know. It just makes me sad. Oh dear. John Costello says yes. Talk was 1994. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Costello says Open Your Eyes was Billy Chris Joe album. Yeah, again, that was what I meant. It was a project. I just got confused. My mind's not on the what I'm supposed to be doing. So says, yeah, yes, I truly love, after 1977, Our Parts of Drama, Key Studio and Magnification. What? You don't like ABWH? You don't like Union? Come on. Union's fantastic. Seb also says, I enjoyed Open Your Eyes a millimetre more than hearing the two Conspiracy albums. I think I listened to them once, But again, too American, too much. Convinces the gradual decline of a lifelong power is always devastating. Human or animal, it's always the same. Yeah, can't. So it says it's a marimba opening written by Alan White. John says phone companies are evil too. I don't know, gift gaff, they're all right. They don't bother me. Well, British Telecom, they keep putting their prices up, and for what? It's not like I'm getting any more. But again, it's like it's the cost of living, isn't it? It's the cost of living. Not as expensive as taking your dog to the vet. And I think how much did we do? £100 just for a 5-minute consultation and 2 packets of tablets, which probably cost about a couple of quid between them. That's like, oh God, it's so expensive. And again, I got this dog insured, but I think the excess is something like £85. So, what, we're going to claim £15? Is that worth it? No. Though, if we get to do it again and again and again, I can build them up into one big claim, I suppose, and try and scoop that money back. Again, I don't know. I haven't really made I can't remember the last time I made an insurance claim, because Alex was never insured. I couldn't. He had a skin condition, which meant he was exempt from insurance. So Hannah was the first dog I've ever fully insured, and now it seems like I've wasted my bloody time. So again, that's £20 out the door every month that I might as well have spent on something else. But there you go. Stuff in. Hope you're all right, whatever happens, Tanner. Thinking of you. Thank you. Well, again, it's Herb's a bit worried about it, and Herb made a fuss of Hannah tonight, and that's not a good thing, because when he made a big fuss of Alex, he's like the angel of death, So he has an instinct for bad times, So I don't know. She was so weak tonight. I couldn't believe it, compared to when I took her out earlier. Literally, like 3 or 4 hours ago. The decline. It's on an hourly basis. It makes me think there's something else wrong. There's something else wrong with it. It's not her teeth. Maybe she's got an infection. Maybe there's a tumour or something. Again, dogs. The problem with dogs is they can't tell you. They can't tell you what's up with them. I wish they could. But this one, it's like she's given up, and it makes me so sad, because I'll do anything. I'm carrying up down the stairs. I'm back on that duty. I'm used to carrying dogs up and down flights of stairs, because we live in a 3-story flat. So I'm getting fit again. Well, she doesn't weigh. She's not as heavy as Alex, because Alex had the wheelie as well. So I was getting a full upper body workout with that. I don't know. It's what goes on, isn't it? Hey. Simon says, I had a black Labrador that said had to be put to sleep, and yes, you never get over it. Hoping Anna can be comfortable as possible and the medication works. Again, I found at least one bit of tablet in her bed just now, so I think she may have actually missed one of them, because she keeps spitting them out. Every trick I've tried, but the last one, I think this was from earlier today, because the last couple, I crushed in some of the porridge and injected it, squirted it into her mouth via the syringe. She seems to be happy with that, so that seems to be something, but she can't live on porridge. But yeah, it happens, isn't it? Alex says, about Bruce Springsteen, you had 2 tickets starting over 300, going up to 800. I know he often plays for 3 hours, but that's ridiculous prices. I think that's par for the course now, isn't it? I think what they've done is the rock stars have positioned themselves in the same category as the high arts, like opera. Because opera used to be out of the realms of normal people, because the tickets were proportionately more expensive than concert or theatre tickets. Mind you, theatre tickets have gone up in price as well, haven't they? So I think that's what they've done. They thought, well, I've got a high sense of self-worth. I will I would charge what I feel I deserve. Again, it's not like these people need the money. I wouldn't, I just don't get it. You think they'd be doing free gigs because they've made it and they've got their millions, or just, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if they gave all the money to charity or something. It just seems like an awfully greedy industry now, incredibly greedy, and you feel like no one has any self-awareness anymore. No one looks at what they're doing and going, I'm just a guy with a guitar. But there are buskers out there that can do this, because that's all they are. It's just entertainment. You're not going to save your life, Only DJs save your lives, remember that. But no, it's all a bit sick-making, isn't it, really? The one where I confronted my stalker? No, he's not really a stalker. I don't know what he is. He's got some beef with me. I don't know. It's just a continual campaign of harassment, which he thinks is funny. But when they lie about you and they say things that I would never say and repurpose my material and, give it headlines and descriptions which are not the context in which those statements were given in, it makes me look a certain way, which isn't true. You know what I'm like. You've been here long enough. You know I like to point out the weird inequalities of this world and the things that just don't make sense. You can say anything now, and people can clip it and make you sound like you've said something else, and then you add a graphic to it and a description to it and tags to it and then images that you've stolen, and then you create a channel that actually uses that person's name and image and puts the word official in it, and it's just, that is stalking, that is harassment. It isn't. It's not. I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't mind if it was funny. I don't mind people taking a piss. The only time was when the Cardiac's guy re-edited the video, and I wouldn't have minded if he'd have actually asked my permission first. Because again, they did a re-edit, and it's like you could at least asked or at least told me about it. They didn't actually tell me they'd done it. I'd like to be in on the joke. So I took the original review down because there was no frame of reference. Then it kind of makes it look stupid, But I don't know. There's people in it. People who are on the internet always got a beef with you. I leave people alone. I don't understand it. I'm too busy living my life right. I'm too busy doing my things and trying to, being with the kids and, like I said, looking after dogs and whatnot, and to actually be that wound up about someone on the internet, on YouTube, a nobody like me, and they revel in it that I'm a nobody. That's the thing. I'm not trying to be someone. I'm just here, because there are some of you out there I know who find comfort in this stuff. Bloody hell, Alan Harwood, he found comfort in it, didn't he? And I didn't know. Garrett Munton, he found comfort in it. There are people out here that find comfort in what I do, and that's why I do this. Because there'll be some, and I've had people say I've been ill or, I've been in a bad place, and, Tuesday nights are important for me. I've had people tell me that, both publicly and privately, and that's why I do this. And that person wants to run me off YouTube to deny those people that comfort. And that's why I do this. But, that is the bottom line. And that is the bottom line. If they wanted me to stop or they've got a real problem, why don't they tell me? But they won't, because they can't. They won't even say if I'd known I've done something to them, I would apologise. I would make amends. But that's not what this is about. This is about destroying me. Because this same person, pretends to be other people and then says to me, seeing as you're applying for jobs, you might want to mention this to HR people. Why would I do that? You're already ruining my chances of getting jobs by making me look like a bigot and a racist and, an ableist. You've already ruined my chances of getting work. Well done. You complain about me not working, and then you do something to ruin my chances. Well done. Well done. It's self-perpetuating. That's how I know you're insane. You know. But anyway, I know who I am, and the people that come here know who I am. But, you know, that's it. And I will keep targeting you, and I will, because you've gone over the line. All this stuff you do, you overstep the line. You keep doing it. You keep doing it. And I'm in a stressful position, so I fight back. That's what happens. Normally, I let these things slide. But I'm in a stressful position, so I fight back. You know? And I think, right, I can be as mad as you if you want. You know? I can do that. I can be as crazy as you if you want me to. You know? But, I don't know. It's a funny world we live in. The internet is not the place I expected it to be. This is the real shame of it. I remember when I came online in 96, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. Like-minded people are going to get together and, you know, do great things. And it didn't happen, did it? It's a shit show. It's a fucking shit show. It diluted our culture to a 30-second TikTok. Comedy has been reduced to a meme that doesn't make any sense. And the self-righteous wallow in their own image. We're doomed as a species. We're doomed, and it's all down to the internet, you know. All down to the internet. Oh God, there's been loads of oh God, sorry, I've spoken too long. I'm ever so sorry. Zev and John are still sorry, there's a big chat going on about yes. Union. Look, Union. You got to remember the context of Union. It was out in 1991. There was no internet. There was no press. ABWH was a very well regarded album, and the tour went down very well. If I remember, again, you got to remember that this time it was so uncool to be into prog music, but it did well, and the tour did well. And then when everyone was getting back together again to do this album called Union, you think, wow, oh my God, it's a bit like the Asia album. You know, everyone's getting back together, and nobody really knew what it was going to be. And then it started trickling out that this Yes West has got some songs, and John Anderson's put his voice on it, and you know, and you go, okay, it might still work. Then you get the album, and you go, you know, you're just grateful for the album because there wasn't a lot else going on. I think it was that, and was it Holidays in Eden by Marillion? You know, you couldn't get two, you know, diametrically opposed records. You know, and then again, you don't know what went on with the recording at the time, so you enjoy it. You listen to it. You go, oh, this is good. Oh, I like that Bill Bruford, Tony Levin improv they put at the end. You know, and you enjoy it. And then years pass, and people go, oh, it's uncool to like that. Oh, why is that then? Well, Rick Wakeman doesn't like it. Oh, why is that? Oh, because he didn't play on it, and it was all his MIDI data manipulated by the producer, and you know, and it's all been, you know, put together in the studio by John Anderson, and you go, oh, okay, well, I enjoyed it at the time, you know. And that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about not having the internet, you know, because I think the internet's just been designed to put people off everything. You know, if you like something, someone will come along and, well, it's usually me. If you like something, I'm going to come along and, you know, shit on your cornflakes, because, you know, you shouldn't be liking that. You should be liking what I like. Oh dear. But no, the internet is a bad place, and it's all my fault. There we go. How's that? That sounds good. Zeb says, I do like parts of AWH and Union, but small parts. Well, that's because you've got a small part. John says, the E Street Band should be in the Hall of Fame. Not Bruce. Can't stand that guy's voice. He's always like he's constipated, isn't it? I can't do it because it's a school night, and Ferret's probably listening to me. Zeb says Pink Robots is out. Zeb and convinced I think they need to get a room. I think we've got a match here. I think they're going to get married. John says, Union, poorly engineered and produced album. Shame on Jonathan Elias. I think there were many producers. I don't think he was the only one. I think there were many people with their hands on the rudder. You know, it was, a murky state of affairs. Again, there was stuff that, yes, East were doing. That again, John Anderson has a habit of getting material that other people have done and whisking it away and squirting himself all over it. It's not the first time. And, you know, I've heard stories, I'm going to be vague, I've heard stories about the way the music industry works. Oh, you see how I navigated that? I've heard stories, and, you know, I don't ask to hear these stories. People tell me these stories, and they warn you. They say, don't, and definitely don't do that. Because if you do that, then that'll happen. And you won't get any credit. Oh, okay. That's interesting, that. You know, so that was, you know, then it was interesting hearing about all this afterwards, you know, because, again, it's all about perception. Because, you know, because we didn't have any access to anything, we perceive this album as one thing, right? And again, it's an experience that many of you will never have because you didn't live it, you know. It's a lived experience. So I have one perception of the album, and then years later, there's this other perception, and I'm conflicted. There's a part of me goes, oh man, that's a real bad way to, you know, to put an album together. That's not good. But then there's the part of me that remembers how the album made me feel at the time, you know, and it helped me travel to university, you know. Back in 91, you know, it was there, you know, it was on my Discman constantly, and it really helped me get across town. So, you know, I have a fondness for it, you know. I did skip some of the tracks though, some of the Yes West stuff. You know, I was more in favour of the SE stuff because it was a bit more esoteric and a bit, you know, a bit more left field. But yeah, so at least that's what's really unusual about it, you know. And, you know, to know that, you know, not all the people that have said they were on it are on it, or some of the people who are supposed to be on it weren't on it, if that makes sense. I think I've talked myself into a circle there. It's a fascinating record, you know. It's a fascinating record. So what should I do? Should I condemn it? Or should I just tell you about how it made me feel at the time? And it made me feel at the time like this is wonderful. And the funny thing is that Union tour was one of the best. It really was. It shouldn't work. Again, I remember we got the tickets and it was like, how's this going to work? There's so many people on stage. But it was a riot. It was absolutely brilliant. So good that we went out of Wembley Arena and went to the box office and got some tickets for Sunday night. Now, I've never done that since. That's how good it was. So we got to see it from two different angles. You know, the first must have gone Friday and Sunday. The Friday night we watched it from, because it was done in the round with the circular stage. So we was at the top, kind of looking down, and that's when Chris Squire's bass nearly made me defecate. You know. And then on the Sunday night we went to the other end and we saw him from the side, you know, kind of like side on, and so we got two different perspectives of it on the rotating stage. But it was a really good gig, you know. It was really clever how they integrated everyone and everyone had their moment, you know. And I think, you know, even Bill Bruford talks about it fondly. He said, yeah, it was great, it shouldn't have worked, you know. Rick Wakeman, I think, talks about the concerts fondly. And these are two, you know, they can be hard-bitten cynics, you know. So it must be good, you know. Must be good. Zeb says, anyone heard the new Smashing Pumpkins Atom album? I listened to the first track and I was like, okay, because it's instrumental. It opens with this instrumental first track, and then the second track played, and then I think I nodded off and I woke up and thought, oh, I better go to bed. And so no, yes and no. The problem with the Smashing Pumpkins is, again, it's how they made you feel. I remember making me feel good at the time, you know, back through Melancholy and Ava Adore, you know, those two records I had great times with, you know, but I like the Zwan album. No one ever talks about that one anymore. Honestly, I like that one. It's a really good upbeat song, you know. Oh, blimey, Simon, you didn't have to. Simon has been very generous with his donation. That's very kind of you to do that. You didn't have to. Now my stalker will accuse me of being an e-beggar because I've asked before. Mainly because people would want to help. You know, this is why you ask. Because people, when they know you're in hardship or they know that something's going wrong, they will help you because they enjoy your company. But I don't go on all the time. There are people out there that make a career out of doing it, and I thought it was the thing to do back in the day because that's what YouTubers did, you know. And I wasn't comfortable with it, and that's why I took down the wish list, because people sent me things, and it's like, oh. And then I didn't have any space to keep the things, and I sold the things, and then people say, oh, you sold the things? I go, yeah, because I ain't got the space to keep all the things, along with my own things. I've sold many things, you know, even gifts the missus have bought me, I've sold, you know, and she knows that. She knows what I'm like, you know, so you do end up feeling a little bit kind of, I don't think guilt is the word, unworthy, you know, because again, there is an element out there that says you shouldn't be doing this, you should get a job, Mr. Locke. It's like, yeah, I try. But they don't want me. I'm 51. The media don't want me anymore. That's my train. I've tried getting jobs in schools. They don't even bother now rejecting me. The local schools, you know, menial jobs. You know, being a science technician or don't even hear back because I want something local that I can walk to. I don't really want to, I don't want to go into London. Ideally, I want to do teacher training, but I can't seem to. I've got to have two. Again, I've got to have two referees, and I've tried to get in touch with people. I've got one person from 25 years ago because one of my main referees died. You can't really put that down, can you, on your CV? Oh, my referee died. God, what a sad fuck, really. Maybe when I have Anna put down, they can put me down as well. So you got any left in the syringe? Just do me. Put me out of my misery. And that's without the constant pain I'm in. I take a long time to heal now. And my left shoulder, because I've fallen on it twice now, and the one in July, boy, I can barely lift my arm. It hurts to do that because I fell over taking the dog for a walk and twisted my ankle still hurts. Nothing heals. See, look, I've still got a scar on my thumb where I burnt it about 2 months ago. Nothing heals. That's diabetes for you. Convicted diabetic. But anyway, thanks, Simon. You didn't have to do that. Hopefully I give you 79 Australian dollars worth of entertainment. If you pop me your address, I will send you a CD. How's that? It's the least I can do. Simon says, hope this helps with the cost of the vet. Well, that's really kind of you, man. You didn't have to. Yeah, that's really kind. Again, I get humbled by the kindness of people. You know. Again, I know how you help with you lot help with Alex. So now I'm getting upset now, and that really helped. And I can't thank everyone enough. You know, this is why. You know, this is why I do what I do, is to say thank you, and I'm here. And Ferry said, Dad, you don't have to do the live stream tonight. You don't have to. I said, but someone might miss me. You know, someone might need me, you know. It's like, that's what you do, isn't it? You know, the stalker needs me. What would he do without me? I'm living rent-free in his head all this time. He'll think I've moved out. Oh, boy. But, you know. And again, the whole... oh, dear. Can I just wipe my tears away? Is that all right? But again, the whole Alan Harwood thing has really kind of got to me. Because, again, you do this and you don't really know what impact you have on people. And what happened with Munton as well. You don't know what impact you have on people when you do this. You know, I come here, I joke around, you know, whatever. I'd make an arse of myself. And again, it's a distraction. It's meant to distract you from whatever's happening in your life, you know. That's why I don't like these getting heavy. You know? It's not what this is for. And there's been a lot of heavy stuff going on behind the scenes, you know, which I don't talk about. You know. But yeah, it's the Harwood thing's really kind of made me worry, you know, because you worry. You just think, God, there's people out there that really think a lot of you. You don't even know. You don't even know, you know. And there could be people out there that don't even say anything, you know. It doesn't have to be, you know, bequeathed things or, you know, have donations for people to know. There could be people who just here all the time who don't even say anything. Again, Alan Harwood didn't always contribute. He didn't always speak, you know. But I knew he was there because I often say, you've heard me say, Alan, got a guitar you might want, you know, because I knew he liked buying guitars. I made some videos for him, you know, shortly, you know, it was earlier in the year, in January. Weird thing about that is I deleted him in May. I took him down thinking, God, he won't need these anymore. And I didn't know he died in May. Oh, that was weird. I should put them back up again. I've still got them. I should just put them back up. At the same time, I take them down because he didn't need them. Oh, that's weird. It's the old. I wish I could get the lottery numbers, you know. But no, you make me cry, man. You make me bloody cry. I'm supposed to be tough, man. I'm convinced and Zeb, they're really getting on well. I'm just going to let their conversation run. I feel like I'm imposing if I read out their conversation, but I think they're talking about Yes, I believe. Fasani says, I really enjoyed the David Lutch album when it was released, but I don't think it ages well. Oh, again, it's more of a nostalgia. It's not about aging. Again, I mean, there's a lot of albums, I think, that don't age well. You know, like anything in the 80s, which uses, you know, certain things like the Fairlight or the DX7, you know. I mean, crikey, and Eno's still using the DX7? Fucking sounds like it. You know, so, you know, there's certain albums that. But that's the kind of interesting thing, because, you know, you go from the 60s and it's more of a production thing because, you know, they've only got a certain number of tracks and they're making that transition from mono recordings over to stereo, so everything's got a certain way of being done, and the technology is a light year, you know, leap, quantum leap of technology in the 70s. But then 70s stuff, you know, the technology gives it away, you know, Mellotron, or, you know, the way drums are recorded, you know, they've got a certain, you know, heaviness to them. You know, and in the 80s comes along and everything's kind of shiny, and because of CDs, and, you know, and then everything returns back to being a little bit more grungy, you know, in the 90s, because guitar bands are back and they go, we want it to sound like the 70s again. We don't want it to sound like the 90s. Oh, sorry, the 90s or the 80s, you know. So, again, I think nostalgia is a wonderful thing sometimes, not all the time. So when you go back and you revisit these records, I find it easy to forgive, you know. I find it easy to forgive, because if you can forgive some of the mixing choices that, I don't know, the Beatles or the Stones made, then you've got to be able to forgive, you know, some of those production choices that they made in the 80s too, you know, because it's all part of the, you know, it's all part of the rich tapestry of music production and history, you know. But they, Charles Martin, the Beatles put out a few little mini clips of him talking about how they extracted the data, you know, the instruments out of the Revolver sessions. Fascinating stuff that is, that AI, what they've done. And here are the finger snaps, and it's like Ringo's finger snaps, and you know, they can isolate the finger snaps without any transients and weird what? I was like, oh my God, imagine. And I've said this before, imagine going back to, I don't know, the 20s or something. You know, those old recordings, and pulling them apart and reconstituting them and recreating them for the modern age. And it'd feel like you were in the recording studio with them. Oh, God, my mind has been blown. Forget the stupid shit that Stephen Wilson's doing. That's what they need to be doing. You know, that I find genuinely exciting. I'm going to talk about something. I've not talked about this. Because I kept it quiet. Because nothing really happened. Just stretching me back. Last year, there's a band called Quasar, and I'm a big fan of their first album called Fire in the Sky. I did a review of it. I'm a very big fan, but I kind of said to him on Facebook, because I was following him, I said, "Oh look, you know, if you want a surround sound mix done, you know, I'll do it for nothing. I fancy, you know, if you want the remix done, you know, I'll be your Stephen Wilson, you know, because I like the idea of doing that, you know." And he threw a track my way, and I did it. I don't think he liked it because I didn't lay it flat. I made it sound, you know, big. I made it sound different, and I made it sound more proggy and made things bounce around and stuff. But anyway, the main problem with it is some of the vocalists' lead vocals were missing. I mean, this is tying into AI, right? And at the time, I thought, okay, there was various softwares that you could use to extract vocals. So we had some of the vocal takes, but some of them were missing, right? So I put the track into a AI thing. It was last year, and it came out, it sounded a bit, but I kind of masked it with some reverb and some delay and tried to EQ it, and EQ'd it with an inch of its life, and it was all right, but I don't think he liked what it did, you know. He didn't like it. I don't think he liked it because he didn't use it. That's fair enough. But I really like what I did. I wish I could. I don't know. I wish I could release it. But anyway, because of all this Giles Martin thing, I was looking at there's websites that you can actually do this. You can actually go on there and feed your stuff in and extract guitars, bass, drums, the elements, you know, of the track into their component parts. So I did it again with the vocals of this track that I was remixing, and bugging me sideways, the vocals came out even better this time, even better, and it was like wowzers. And so again, this is why I was talking about the Giles Martin thing. I'm kind of gone around on myself. So with this Giles Martin technology, I was thinking, can I have some of that? I want some of that, please. You know, can I? You know. But I don't think the music industry would want that to fall into the hands of people like me or you, because then you'd feed in all your favourite albums and remix them, and there'd be the internet would be flooded with, you know, with remixes by everyone, you know. But the power of that AI technology is fascinating. It really is. You know, there we are. We're talking about like deep fakes. You know, everyone talks about like video components, deep fakes, and CGI, but audio. I never thought that'd be the thing that it gets the old brain whirring, doesn't it? You know. Anyway, I've got on wax lyrical there. Whoops, I've gone on. Oh God, yeah, I've gone too much now. Sorry. Simon says, "Great summer on the internet." Oh, thanks. As Ev says, "Convince the next." Oh no, he's just talking about incredible CD album. I'm sure it is Joe. John says, "I still think Chris Fosdick was a made-up name for one of the session guys on Union. Was it Chris Guaralius? I don't know. Chris Fosdick. It sounds like a made-up name, doesn't it? Ugh, that's cold. Ugh. Shall we have a look? Can we see if there's a Chris Fosdick out there? Chris Fosdick. He's a World Amateur Golf Ranking Player profile here. He's a managing partner of the Cambridge Group. But yeah, he's a golfer apparently. No, that can't be the right one, can it? But wait a minute. Ping. Chris Fosdick, right, was the additional music programmer for Streetwise, which is a video which was released. This is on Internet Movie Database, which is a movie which its original title was Jailbait. It looks like it was a porn film. I don't know. Can I? Oh, C. Thomas Howell was in it, so it's not a porn film, but the sleeve is a bit saucy. But Chris Fosdick worked on this. There you go. C. Thomas Howell. He was from E.T., wasn't he? E.T. Ay caramba. So there you go. Chris Fosdick. This episode just reminded me of a long time what a masterpiece Chris Squire's WLP is. I never liked it. John says, "You're right. There was a guy who shared the Yes Show from the current tour, and someone can criticise me for thanking the guy who shared it." Yeah. Well, it's the internet for you, isn't it? I don't comment on anything. I just exist on Twitter and Facebook and annoy people there. John also says Elias did the tracks from AWH. Someone else did the Yes West tracks. Yeah. Zeb says, I want expanded 4 CD box set with Yes shows at 2LP could fit 1 CD. It's way too thin per 2022. So much recorded from 76, 78 and HQ. High quality. Yeah, yeah, Yes's live output's a bit patchy, isn't it, really? I guess. It's a bit patchy. I don't think, I mean, even that The Word Is Live compilation album, that was an oddity, you know. It was a bit all over the place. I understand what they were trying to do, but it didn't work. A live compilation? No. Have I heard any Wondrous Stories? No. I see what you did there. Oh, you argued about it on bulletin board systems. Well, that's because you're a nerd. Yeah, bulletin boards. Yeah, I remember going on those at school in 1980. I guess it would have been 87, 86, 87. I was one of those kids who hung around the library, and so the librarian let me see see Prestel and stuff like that. Wow, there's a thing. It's the future. Everyone's going to be communicating like this. Little did we know. Convince wants a 10-year reissue of The Quest. He's going to love it. Rene says, do you like the Holidays in Eden Deluxe 3 CD and Blu-ray set? I didn't buy it. Not buying it. I'm done. I'm done with everything. I'm done. I sold all my Marillion sets and I'm done. I'm tired of reissues. And again, a lot of the stuff on that set I've already got. I had already heard. It was, it wasn't something that was going to be. The only thing that would have been worth it was for the surround sound remix and and of course the documentary. The documentaries they do are really good. I'm hoping if they've got any sense, they'll bring out a box set with just the Blu-rays in. That'd be really fucking sensible if they did that. Because I'd buy that. I think I'd buy that. Because you don't need all the CDs. All I do is, pull out the Blu-ray, watch the documentary, listen to the surround sound, put it back in the sleeve, put it on the shelf, and let it gather dust, like I did with the Jethro Tull ones, like all the other special editions that have been out, and everything just gathers dust. But again, if you don't dust anything after the first 6 months, you don't tend to notice. Isn't that right? Julian says, have I heard of Carl Palmer's ELP reunion? Yes, I have heard about it. I've seen the trailer. They couldn't afford a hologram. They couldn't get Keith Emerson and Greg Lake in hologram form. I mean, they could do Greg Lake in hologram form, but they couldn't do the hologram of Keith Emerson's knives going into the keyboard and it sticking. They just couldn't pull it off. It was going to cost too much in animatronics, so they just nixed it and said, I'll just project them on screens instead. That didn't happen. John says, Cozy Powell's drums pinned me to the seat at the El Pal. A shame that he and Squire are never together in a band. He died. He died. John says, supposedly employers are going to give their employees raises, Darren, so I guess we both have to get jobs. Well, after you. Après-vous, as they say in France. Yeah, I came close. I kind of came close, but no cigar, you know. I don't know. It's what you get for taking the, well, I don't know how many years, 10 years out to look after the kids, isn't it? It's what women have had to suffer all their lives, you know. I get to experience it. But then you've got to remember, I did work for myself for, like, God, how many, 10 years before that. So it's very hard when you're self-employed because you don't tend to have referees. Because who are you going to do? Right, a referee for yourself? No. Let's all get jobs. Julian wants Carl Palmer to come to Europe with his ELP show. And John hates it when things don't heal. Oh, God. I had a scratch on my arm when I was cutting. You can still faintly see it, actually, from the blackberry. And that's when I quit. You probably won't see it on the camera. But I had a scratch running down my arm. I can faintly see it in the light here. And that was like 2-3 years ago. And that's when I quit doing the gardening. I went, I'm not doing it anymore. Because it wouldn't heal. And it bled like a bugger. I came in just bloody. I was blooded. And so I quit. And then I got my diagnosis. And the nurse said, no more gardening for you. And I said, can I have that in writing? She said, no more gardening for you. And when I left the surgery, I clicked up my heels and danced down the street. No more gardening for me. I'm going to buy a goat instead. It's going to be great. A big, beautiful goat. John says, by the way, I like the duck calls on one song on the one CD. That song should be a hit on the radio during the duck season, but we don't live in a fair world. You talk about my CD. You like the Quacks? It's a good one. That's Quackers, that. 98 Sparkles, I believe it's called. Do go listen to it. It's got duck quacks and a whizzer. I love the whizzer. It's my favourite bit. My favourite bit. Though I am preparing, be still your beating heart, I am preparing a 3 CD compilation of the last 30 years. I know, it's shocking. It's shocking. I've been working on the artwork. Oh, it's been killing me. Let me... Oops, what happened then? Shall I show it to you? Yeah, go on, I'll let you have a look. So I'm just opening up the artwork. Boop. Oh, does this work? It's not finished yet because I'm still working on it. But it's taken me a week to do this. Right, firstly, oh, where am I? I don't want that. I want this one. There we go. Oh, it's too many windows. Firstly, there's me. Look at that. Look, you like that? And then there's all the stuff I've done, and then there's like a compilation of pictures and things, and then of course you've got to flip it upside down because this is folded out, and then the stuff at the bottom. Oh, you can't see that. Wait a minute. Can I? Is that working? Oh God, it's not working. There you go. That's better. And then why won't it go up? Why won't it move? There you go. And that's going to be the artwork for the 3 CD thing that I'm doing. Might get some people to buy it. Might be fun. But yeah, it's remixed. Remixes. I've remixed stuff. You're going to love it. Where did the chat room go? I've got rid of the chat room. You're going to love it, folks. It's going to be great. Big, beautiful compilation. You're going to love it. Beautiful, man. Zev said, the life of that Darren's live stream impossible. Well, Zev says one day Progeny 2. Well, have you seen the big box set? Have you seen that big vinyl box set that they want like 650 quid for? Simon's being kind again. He says, you give so much and you do bring joy and education to us, Darren. Be proud of your contribution. Thank you so much. Are you trying to fucking make me cry? You know I'm vulnerable as it is. Now look, I just do what I do, and like I said, this year's been very strange. It's been a weird one, and the real kicker, right? And again, I spoke to going back to the Alan Harwood thing. As I spoke to the lady who's is the executor of the will, and I said, Alan recorded music, right? Because he had all these instruments and things. And she said, yeah. And I said, look, if he's got a hard drive or something with music on, can I have a look at it? Because I'd love to maybe release it or just do something. Maybe I can do something with it, And she said, well, all the computer's got a password on, and we're locked out. We can't get into it. Oh man. So it looks like all of Alan's work is lost. It's like, oh, what a bastard. Shame that. Because I thought, maybe I could put a CD out for him. Maybe do a charity thing, give the money to. I think he had. I think it was cancer that killed him. Do like a cancer CD thing. But can't do that. But you never know. They might find his password scribbled on a piece of paper somewhere. So that's been on my mind. I have a lot of things on my mind. So yeah. But anyway, thank you, Simon. That's very, very kind of you to say. John says, one day you'll stop doing these. No, I won't. I'm going to live forever, and I'm going to annoy all of you buggers. I ain't giving up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not. I can't. I feel committed to it, unless I'm not well, or something really major happens. But I'll try and warn you. I won't disappear. I have to try and get the word out, But yeah, one day, I always say, one day it'll end, because everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's the circle of life. It's the nature of things, isn't it? But I don't want to think like that, because I'm dealing with an ending at the moment, and it's not nice, So let's all continue, and let's make it never end. People will come and join us, and they will pass by, and we'll remember them. There have been many have come and gone. Some are not here, and some have just found other things to do. Or fallen in love, as I like to say. And we wish them all well wherever they are, and that's the nature of it. I'm here. But who knows, maybe one day, if they're still here, they think, they remember the Tuesday night, they might come back and find me and say hello. And I think, God, he's still doing it. That mad bastard's still doing it. Because I don't even know how long I've been doing this now. It's several years, I think, isn't it? But it's even part of our culture here. It's like Tuesday night, Dad, you're doing a live stream. It's like, yeah, I'm doing a live stream. That's what we do, Convince says, your videos have been in my life for years, Darren. I often loved the enduring tales of Swissy or those PF box sets. Much love to you. Well, same to you. I'm glad you've enjoyed them. John says, yes, please put my deleted videos back up. During the early days of the pandemic, I hadn't got my laptop yet, so I'd watch YouTube videos using my parents' cable, including your videos. Well, it's nice to know, John. Simon says, what you said about not knowing how you reach people with what you do, like Alan Hull, reminds me of the movie Talk Radio. Have you seen it? Oh God, I probably have done. It's an 80s one, isn't it? Is that an 80s or 90s one? Talk Radio movie. Oh God, now I've got Talk Radio. No. Pop-ups movie. Yes, 88. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I remember this. He says, yeah, shock jock, yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. But again, you better have a gun, because I will bite your face. I will mark you. And there's a reason I do that. It's so the police can find you afterwards. So I can say, yeah, he's missing a nose or an ear, alright? So if you do come after me, you better be fucking quick, alright? Because I will bite. So if you want to lose a nose or an ear, you know where to come. Oh dear. What a great, great time we live in. John says, yes, that is indeed a shiny decade. All that glitters isn't gold. Again, it's more to do with the CD, isn't it, really? And everyone being obsessed with detail and frequencies and everything being splashy, you know, and reverb and drum machines and everything being, you know, people being obsessed with replicating real instruments with electronic instruments. Fascinating time. What, you've got a electronic saxophone sound? Why don't you just get a real saxophone player in? Because it sounds like this: honk, 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 honk. Can't we just get the saxophone player in? And they do it honk, 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 and then 20 years later they reissued the album with the honk removed and a real saxophone player playing it. I'm sure that's probably happened. But John can't forgive P. Diddy for what he did to Led Zepp's and the Police's music. Well, that was in the 90s, wasn't it? It wasn't the 80s, that was in the 90s. John Costello also says that one Cirque du Soleil show I wanted to see was the Beatles one. That was called Love. And it was the only one that didn't tour. That was in Vegas. Is it still on? Cirque du Soleil. Love. Yeah, it's still on. You can go and see it, mate. Look, it's still on. Look, there you go. How cool is that? Whoops, move that out of the way. Look. You can get tickets. Should we get tickets? Should we go? Should we all go? John says, you made it from... was it? Made it go from flat to fluffy, like in those old shampoo commercials. Indeed. And John wants a bunch of different remix versions of Yes albums to choose from. I don't know. And John says Chris Fosdick was one of the Army of Guest keyboard guys on Union. And Jonathan here said lots of friends who play keyboards and he wanted to get them all paid for the Union album. Well, again, if you get a credit, if you get a production credit, ka-ching, ka-ching. If you want to be a featured artist, ka-ching. Again, that's the way the music biz works, because you can, you know, there are many credits that you want. Writer's credit, sweet as peach. Production credit, very nice, you know. But if you go there and play some guitar, yeah, you might not get that credit, you know. That's why you have to push for being featured artist on it, you know. So says, yes, I was a proud 80s nerd. Indeed. Back in the day of comedy, the Commodore 642 and TRS-80s. ZX Spectrum. We had Commodore 64s as well, and Amigas over here, and BBC Micros. I was a Spectrum person, then I was a Atari ST, and then got a PC. Our first PC was a Wang. And I'm proud to admit that. It was a Wang. It handled like a Wang as well. That Wang lasted years. Do you know why? Because I gutted it and I used components from that Wang for about, I don't know, 10 years, like disk drives and memory. The good old days of computing. John says, maybe the Keith Emerson hologram had a mind of its own and quit the band. And you like the Quacks. Good. And John says, a local guy does a show called Crap from the Past, who plays some novelty songs. I'll let him know about the song with the Quacks and maybe he'll play it on his show. Thanks. I'm honoured. And John says, will the 3 CD compilation have previously unreleased songs? Yes. And also you do your own 20-minute epic like titled The Quest. Just to thumb your nose at yes. No. No. Well, fragments as bits of songs glued together. But, you know. But, you know, there's some stuff on here that's not been heard, you know, crap from the archive. Stuff I've tidied up. Remixes, there's a lot of it's been remixed, you know. And it's just because I realised it's been 30 years since I started, you know, with my 4-track, and I thought, wow, let's do a compilation. Let's have some fun, and do that for my. It's just for my own fun, and it's something for the kids to find. You know, when I keel over, they can go, oh God, what are we going to do with all this shit? They're going to say. John says, this was a weird year. I was hoping it would be better than last year, but it really wasn't. I'm sorry to hear that. At least we've got all the COVID weirdness out of the way, apparently. I mean, we're supposed to be in the middle of a COVID crisis in the UK. That's what the projections were. It was meant to be a COVID flu epidemic, but the figures have just... Because I like to think that, you know, the vaccination cycle had something to do with it. You know, though I think we might have had the vid the other week, a couple of weeks back, because, you know, I had a bit of a tickly cough, and I've been having some weird tremors when I go to bed of a night, and that usually happens, you know, sometimes. And I think it is a COVID thing, and it's really helped my insomnia to lay in bed and suddenly feel like I'm vibrating, and I'm not. Oh dear. But there we go. There we go. I'm going to be the last Highlander, immortal. Good to know. Yeah, but then he ends up being immortal. I don't want to be a regular guy. No, I'm just going to try and keep going, isn't it? You know, that's the thing. I always said to the missus, 50. That's Sniper's Alley. That is, and that's when everything starts going wrong. And by Jiminy, I was right, because I hit 50 and I got, you know, diagnosed with this diabetes thing. Again, I never had any symptoms, like, you know, because they say, oh, do you have trouble with your bladder, you have to get up in the night? It's like, no, I'm fine. You know, that part of me is fine. You thirsty all the time? Well, no, not particularly, you know. And they ask you all these questions, and it's like, no, I didn't feel particularly diabetic, other than the aches and pains I was getting, you know, because I thought it was rheumatism, you know, but it wasn't, because you can get, you know, there's the neuropathy thing, and it can attack your joints as well. And thankfully, touch wood, my diabetes is in such a state, it's in a good state, that because I don't have any sugar, I figured out that it's mainly like processed, you know, sugars and things like that. If I avoid that, you know, just have a very plain diet, you know, lots of protein. My blood sugars, you know, stay around the 6-7 range, which is not bad considering, you know, take my tablets, you know, walk, you know, still walking. I've been walking on my own though the last few days, and well, take the missus with me and the kids at the weekend, but no dog, and that's been a bit sad. All I've done is seen dog walkers, and that depresses me. And all their dogs are walking nicely, you know. Don't see them normally. Funny that. Or maybe I just don't see them because I've got my dog with me. I don't know. But yeah, Sniper's Alley 50. It all goes wrong then. Yeah, we've scared everyone off. There's no one in the chat, even though there's supposedly 32 people viewing. Only 8 likes. Come on, I really need you to hit me with those likes. Come on, hit me with those likes if you can. Smash the like button. Why do we say that? Oh dear. Yeah, keep your powder dry, indeed. Just, you can sit and enjoy it, you know. Just sit and enjoy. You don't have to take part. Again, there are a lot of people that's, like I said, Alan Arwood was a good example. He sat here and just enjoyed it, obviously. And again, the person who's executing his will, she said, well, he talked about you a lot. He loved your music. He thought you were great, you know, and he loved the live streams, and you know, he thought what your kids were great and everything, and he held you in really high regard. And you're going, because that was because the lady executing his will was a good friend of his for like 20, 30 years, and you're like, it's like, wow, You know, like I said, there's that thing about not knowing what you do. You know. And meanwhile, like I said, we've got this person who's trying to destroy what I do and paint me as something I'm not. I'm many things, you know, I'm many things, but I'm not those things, you know, and that's, you know, it's not fair, you know, but YouTube allow them to do it, you know. This is what's refreshing about Elon Musk and his Twitter takeover, is impersonation is a no-no. You know, I've reported this person for impersonation like ever since he started, because he is passing that channel off as being somehow affiliated to me, links to me, you know, and that's not right, you know. That's not right. But he's having fun. He seems to think it's fun and enjoyable. You know, he doesn't care, you know, that people see this and that they might think of me, you know, in a bad way when I'm not any of these things. But that's fine, as long as he's enjoying himself, I guess. But it's frustrating because YouTube, you know, will put restrictions on my coffee time videos every day, because you do news, can't have advertising on it, you know. So every day I put in a request. You know, there's all these rules that you know people have to, you know, the creative people, we have to abide by. This is what's frustrating. I abide by all the rules, you know, make sure everything's nice and there's nothing, you know, and then people can just do what they want and get away with it, and you report them and nothing happens. It's like, really? What's the point? What's the point? You know. But yeah. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Simon says, the compilation is a great idea. Thank you. Thank you. It's just because it's 30 years. And somebody a few weeks ago, or might have even been months ago, said, have you got a compilation? And I went, there was one called Easy Listing, which I think I put out in 2006, which is very old now, and that only covered a short period of time. And so I thought, well, you know, even if it's, you know, even if I do it for the Bandcamp page and, you know, for some of the people who like me, you know, it'll be good, you know, it'll be a bit of fun. And like I said, some of the stuff has been remixed, and I did a new vocal on an old song, you know, from 94ish, which is funny. It's about trying to get a job. It's called Nothing to Do. It's a song about being unemployed, which I wrote when I was 23 and I was just out of university, and I had a hard time then always had a hard time getting work for some reason. And yeah, I wrote a song called Nothing to Do about the drudgery of unemployment, how much I hate it, because I like working. I'm a busy person, you know, and I thought, well, I'd just redo the vocals because it seems apt now. You know, nothing has fucking changed in 30 years, you know. Fun our world. But anyway, it should be fun. John says he's absolutely right. You still get residual checks for writing songs and producing the album, depending on what the fine print of the contract says. Indeed, the music business is a very complicated business, and this is why, you know, sometimes, I don't know, the wife might be credited with maracas, you know, or, you know, production role or whatnot. It's very interesting, the machinations of the music biz, because people want their cut of the pie. You know. Scott says, hope you're all well there. Yes and no. We've got a dog who's not well, not looking good, but if you rewind to the beginning, it's all at the beginning. Custo says, maybe you still find a wang at a garage sale. We call those a boot sale. We don't have garage sales in the UK. We have something called a boot sale, where people stand in a muddy field with a paste table with all their unwanted gear on. I've done a couple of them. I ain't doing them. Ever since eBay came around, I went, I ain't doing that. It's cold. You have people haggling. You're haggling? No, we're not haggling. No, this isn't a Moroccan bazaar. This is a cold, muddy field in the middle of Walthamstow, and you want to haggle? Crap from the past has a worldwide audience, says John. I don't doubt it. But I only recorded it last year. I only released it last year. Not that far in the past, is it? Give it a few years. Give it 10 years, eh? Scott says, my Domino's arrived. I love them. Excellent. Well done. Again, for those of you who don't know, we were talking about the Genesis Domino's there. I haven't opened mine. I've kept them sealed. Because one day they're going to make me millions, Rodney. But Scott, he wanted some, and I pointed him in the direction of some. John says, I keep hearing people saying that vaccines didn't work. I don't know whether to believe them they work or don't. Well, I'm still here. The fact that the hospital numbers are down and the people aren't dying of it seems to indicate that something happened. Now, again, the way viruses work is there are two ways of doing it. The first way is you let it rip through the population and let it kill off all the weak people, and you let herd immunity develop, right? Now, it could be that that's happened, right? Or it could be that herd immunity has been helped by the vaccine. So you have the vaccine, it whips through you, it's lessened, because again, when a virus comes into you, it does its business, you replicate versions of that virus and you cough them out, but that version has been altered by your DNA. It's complicated. Again, people go on about RNA and all this, was it RNA? But every time you get a cold or a cough or or a stomach upset, a bug, a virus, it changes your DNA. It changes your DNA database of viruses. It adds its stamp to your virus database, and that's why it weakens it, because your immune system attacks it, knocks the edges off of it, and then you cough it out and somebody else gets it and it's in a weakened state. You see, it's all very clever. Our immune system is fascinating, and vaccines are seen to augment it. It's an artificial way of augmenting the immune system, and in the past we used diluted versions of live vaccine in a non-harmful way. So you'd introduce it to the bloodstream, the white blood cells would look at it, absorb it into the database, then when the actual virus comes along, you've got it in the database, it doesn't kill you. Wonderful. And with the new ones that they've got, it's just supposed to sidestep the white blood cells, I think. It's supposed to just directly augments your DNA, I believe. I don't know. I'm still here. I'm not dead yet, so I believe in science. I believe in the vaccines. I had the flu jab as well. Again, because I've had pneumonia in the past and I am now a convicted diabetic, I don't want to risk it, because who will do the live streams if I'm not here, But I haven't had a cold not a proper cold in a while. I had a bit of a sniff again I had the sniffles for about a week. Was it a fortnight? And it was just a feeling of being a little bit off and a runny nose, and it lasted a long time. It was annoying because I felt a little bit tired and my nose kept running, and then I felt okay, and then in the mornings I felt crap, and then in the afternoons I felt fine, and then it went. And I think that was COVID being killed by my immune system. But again, you do not want to end up in hospital with any respiratory illness. Like I said, I had pneumonia when I was 13, nearly died with it, and wouldn't wish it on anyone. Says, you're right, it does seem to go down after you're 50. Sniper's Annie, mate. Scott is referring to Domino's, the pizza company. He's making a little joke about pizzas. John says we're up to 10 likes. God, I'm blessed. Convinced says I'll give the like button a regular old press. Fair enough. And Scott says his Domino's is about 30 miles away. Well, that's not good. I remember when we lived in that village where we had that newsagents, couldn't get any pizzas delivered. Too far out, and we weren't that far away. This is the funny thing. We're only something like 5 or 8 miles from Norwich, but no, None of the pizza deliveries would come out past the airport. So there you go. So for 4 years, I didn't have a pizza. Well, it's not strictly true. I think I had a couple of them after the car crashed into us, because where we were living then was near Great Yarmouth, and there was plenty of fast food places around there, so I think I had a pizza then. But after that, no more pizzas until we came back here. This is what gets me. We were getting pizza during the COVID thing. That was more for the kids. We stopped doing that now though, once the lockdown ended. But we were doing a like fast food Monday, just to, as a treat, to get us through. We're doing all these little things like ball game Saturday and fast food Monday, just to stop us going mad. And that's what you do. Silly story, but. John says, YouTube does have wacky rules. It only makes sense to crazy person who makes them up. Well, again, they're very inconsiderate, These rules, none of them make sense. I had a video taken down for COVID misinformation the other day. I had to appeal it. And what was the video about? It was me advising people to give up smoking. So that this was at the very beginning of the COVID thing. I think it was in June 2020. And I was telling everyone, look, if you want to have a fighting chance, give up smoking, because it'll help your respiratory system repair, because you're going to be vulnerable to, because smoking damages the lining of your lungs, etc. And it got reported for COVID misinformation. Could be me trial, I suppose. So I had to appeal it. I mean, it was fixed in an hour, but it's like, oh, come on, really? You have to be so careful what you say, especially with stuff like that. I mean, I've always been, very pro-vaccine, and, again, I think it's up to you. If you don't want to take it, don't take it. It's fine, But I think if you don't take it, you should be treated in a separate hospital. You shouldn't go to the main population. You should go to the special hospital in the middle of nowhere, where they, all has hazmat suits on. They've had hazmat suits on. It's like a centre for communicable diseases. You shouldn't go into the general hospital population, because you're not playing by the rules, And it's just science. The only reason you haven't died through stubbing your toe is because you were vaccinated as a baby. Tetanus. Tetanus was one of the main fucking killers. People forget this, but because you have a tetanus jab as a baby, and God, you don't want to have a tetanus jab. I had a tetanus jab when I cut my chin open when I was a kid, and I couldn't sit down for a fucking week. But now they do it to you as a baby. And so when Herb cut his knee open, it's like, oh, does he need to have a tetanus jab? I went, no, because he's already had it as a baby. And it's those little things that mean that we don't die of really simple, stupid diseases. We don't go blind through measles and chicken pox. I think that sends you blind as well, isn't it? Or mumps, leaves you infertile, and there's loads of childhood diseases that can really mess you up. That's without polio. I mean, crikey. Again, when I was a kid, you still saw, the kid with the big shoe. You saw the collection boxes for, help for polio. And we had, the polio. I remember having the polio vaccine is a strong memory in mine. You got to believe in science. It's what's got us here, But there are a lot of people out there that, I don't know, the internet's got into their heads, and there's no common sense. Like I said, in the 1950s, people didn't have the internet. The level of education was a lot lower. Illiteracy was higher. And people queue around the block to get vaccinated for polio. Now, we live in this enlightened age, and you have people going, vaccines. Well then, I don't understand it. It's science. Science is allowing you to do this. Burn the computers, it's witchcraft. That's the world we live in. It's a very strange world we live in. John says, the more things change, more the things stay the same. I don't know who said that first one. It was probably me. It's probably me. I say everything first. Convinced says, I've been trying to look for a track of yours in the background of an old Primer video. Lots of backmasking, very tranquil piano keys. Oh, I know that one. It was probably called Still Crane Lake or something like that. Let me find it for you. Oh, it's from the album God Pays Debts Without Money, which was a quadruple album, I believe. It's 4 CDs that year. 4 CDs I did. 2006. Let me pull it up for you. I mean, there was a couple. It might be Mist on Stone, Mist on Water, and Mist on Mist, which is 3 tracks. Piano. It's piano looping. I play some piano, and then I loop it, and I play some more piano, and then I loop that over the top of it, and then I play a little bit more, and then those notes I reverse. That's what you're hearing. It's all done. That was all done live, and there's lots of reverb and stuff, and it's all, again, these were all live performances. And so this is on YouTube Music, so I don't know if this is your preferred method, but there you go. Enjoy that one. Right. Scott says, people haggle over 20p, they haggle. Scott says, open the tin, but not the dominoes. Ah, so the dominoes are sealed. I've got a little bit more information thanks to you. I did not know that. Scott says, I haven't felt right since I had COVID a few weeks ago. Well, this is the problem. You know, the real problem of it, and what the science is showing, is if you have COVID without the vaccination, you have got more chance of, you know, either ending up in hospital or having heart issues, arrhythmias and things like that, because it really, you know, it can really mess you up. Now, you know, I've had some things. Oh, again, my very first vaccination, it didn't react very well. I like I say, a resting BPM of over 120 beats per minute, which was normally what I set the drum machine to. But this was at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I was asleep, and I woke up with it just like I'd been running. And I was like, you know, and you know, I felt really bad, and then it passed. Then I had the booster, like the second one, and I was fine with that. And then a fortnight afterwards, I was walking her to school, and I thought I was going to die. The energy just kind of drained out of me, and my heart was like doing somersaults, and I developed this arrhythmia, and I managed to control it using breathing techniques. And that's something that, you know, of course, people say it's the vaccination. It wasn't. It was my underlying diabetes. I think what the vaccination did is it made my body go, you're ill, go and get it checked out. And I did. I went there because of the heart issues, and no, it wasn't actually a doctor I saw initially. She thought I had a heart murmur, and of course they send you away, and I've got bloods taken, and I had an ECG or whatever it's called, where they put the sticky things on you, and that was fine. Because, you know, everything was fine. And then the bloods came back as, you know, diabetic. I'd broken a world record. The doctor was shocked I was still walking around by the sound of it. You know, so I immediately, you know, took action. You know, I think COVID, what it does is, if you're not in 100%, even if you're in peak condition, there could be something underlying that you don't know about, and I think it accentuates that, and it takes advantage of that. It's an insidious virus because it can, you know, there's talk of it actually, you know, damaging parts of the brain, plaque in the brain, which is weird, and that's what's causing the brain fogs. It can scar the inside of the lungs. It can scar inside of arteries. It can alter the way your nerves behave, so causing arrhythmias, tinglings, you know, the things I get, you know. So I don't think we're ever truly going to know what it does until a good 10 years, 10, 15 years. But what was ever unleashed on the world has been, a real challenge. But like the great flus that we've had and the other issues, the Black Death, mankind using cunning and guile and science will prevail. And that's what we've got to do. The problem is society expects their government to be able to assure that everyone will live. And not one politician will get up and say, unfortunately, some of you are going to die, for this is a pandemic. And nobody wants to say that, because that's serious. And like I said, in the old days, people would pray to their gods and make sacrifices and, put a coin on the plate, and they put their faith in the man upstairs to look after them. Now, we live in a largely godless, even the people who say they've got God turn to the government for solace and guidance. And not every government can't save you, not when we're dealing with stuff like this. And, it's a hard truth. It's a hard truth. And I don't think not one politician wants to tell that truth, because they know it will lose them votes. And it will lose them faith. And if any other politician says that they can save them, they're lying, And, we live in a society where nobody wants to die. Of course, nobody wants to die, but there's a sort of expectation that everyone's going to get to, 109 years old. And it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Scott says, I still really feel tired a lot at the time. No deliveries here either. No shops within 8 miles, nothing. I used to get my Sainsbury's delivered. That weren't a problem. Even when I was at the shop, Sainsbury's delivered. Do you know when I get tired? 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just shut down. And again, I don't know if it's the diabetes or whatever, but I have a real dip in the afternoon for about a couple of hours, and it's awful. I don't like it, but maybe it's just my age, A lot of YouTubers won't even say the word COVID. Oh shit! Oopsie. It's me aunt. It's me auntie COVID. Convince says, okay, Tar, got it, jot it down. Yeah. Like I said, there's that, and there's another one called Steel Crane Lake, which is a similar piece. But yeah, those few. There was a period in 2005, 2006. I got at that time. It was a Korg Triton keyboard, and I was in love with the piano sound. And so I was feeding it into her looper pedals, and that's what you hear. It's me just noodling around. There may even be a video. Actually, now we're here, I might actually be able to dig out the performance from 2000 and whenever, because on my music channel, the Darren Not Music thing. Let me have a look. Oh God, what was it called? What would I have called it? No, it's not that. Mist? Were on the Mist ones? Nope. Nope. Maybe I haven't uploaded it. Oh, Darren, maybe you didn't upload it. Maybe you was a bit embarrassed about it and you didn't want to upload it. Look in your folder. Where's your performances folder? 2006. Oh, that ain't it. Where am I going to find the videos? Oh, wait a minute. Nope, that ain't it. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, don't tell me I lost it. Don't tell me it's gone. I think I might have lost it. I think it's gone. No. Oh well. I'll find it one day. I wonder if I'll ever find it. Probably not. Well, if I find it, and it's not looking like I will, I know, why don't you? Look in the master folder. This is what you need to do. Look in the master folder. Why didn't you do that? And it'll have the... Here we go. Makeup as you go along. Here we go. When was it recorded? 2005. I don't think I did. Maybe I didn't. Sorry about that. Scott said, can you write your music down so you can always remember what you played? No. I used to be able to read music when I was a kid because I learnt the recorder, and now it's just muscle memory. It comes back to me, and that's frightening because stuff 30 years ago, there's a track on Fragments which I'd originally recorded back in 1993, and there was part of it that I reused. Again, that's why it's called Fragments, is bits of stuff that I've used for years, and I decided to redo it, and it all came back. Once I got the chords, I thought, oh yeah, no, I remember this, and it's frightening. That's frightening, muscle memory. So no, I can't read. Again, what's the old joke? How did you get a guitarist to stop playing? Put a sheet of music in front of him. Costello says, I'm off to grab dinner before my other favourite YouTuber begins to stream. Thank you. Well, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Jason says, I COVID back in Feb and lost my taste and smell. Months later it came back. Now I lose my taste and smell for about 2 days after I drink beer. What's that about? Fascinating. Scott says, I thought you were about to burst into the knife. Indeed. Hey, it's our favourite New Zealander. Are you really from New Zealand? Fox Pixar. Should go and give him a like. Go and look at his videos. Someone's locked him in his bedroom and he can't help but make Queen videos. I admire his creativity, right? But he gets a bit wound up because I won't recognise that the Cosmos Rocks isn't a Queen album. It's not. They'd have put it in the box set, wouldn't they? And that annoys him. It's not. Anyway, I'm not going to block you today because I'm feeling generous. Scott says, I can't write music either, but it takes me so long to make a tune. At the time I've played it 5 billion times, I can remember it too. Well, this is it, you know. But it's funny because it just goes in. See, he's going on about the Cosmos Rocks again. See? It's their worst album. And it's not even their last album, man. Jesus Christ. The last album's Innuendo. Everybody knows that. Oh, dear. Anyway, I'm going to sod off now because I've gone on far too long. And I'll see you next time, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be good news. And if there isn't, then there isn't. And I'll just have to put a brave face on it. And yeah, and thanks for all the support tonight. It's been well appreciated from all of you who've been here, and even those of you in the shadows who are lurking. Thank you once again. And you know, thanks for you like what I do, and thanks to you who don't like what I do. Thank you one and all. And like I say, we'll do this again next time. Remember, folks, yeah, if you can't be good, be safe. But more importantly, don't tell your mother. Ta-da.